you so much from the bottom of my heart for coming out today. This is just a tribute to how great our community is and what the statue means to us, and I'm blown away. I was expecting that we would have a small crowd, and I'm truly just blown away. I just want to welcome you all to the 100th anniversary of the Doughboy Monument. I want to thank all the veterans that are here today and those who are participating in the Centennial event. I want to recognize Mr. Charles Sufak. He's George Sufak, sorry. He's a World War II vet. It's an honor to have you here today, sir. Mr. Sufak's name is on this monument, along with his other family members. If you get a chance to stop by and talk with him, do it. It's a rare honor. Welcome to all the elected officials today attending this ceremony. Wayne Fontana has a representative here, Emily Kincaid and Sarah Inamorata, state reps. Deb Gross, Judge Patrick Conley, Judge Anthony Chaffee, Councilwoman and Mayor Peduto. My name is Lisa Chaffee, and I am so proud to be representing my family today, Lawrenceville, and the 6th Ward. It's a historical day in Pittsburgh. Lawrenceville is such a special place. There are so many families that made it the iconic neighborhood it is today. Whether you're from 10th Ward, 9th Ward, or 6th Ward, and you know what I mean. I'm talking about generations of families passionate about community, dedicated to youth sports, the 4th of July celebration, our city's one and only Memorial Day parade. Next year we're going to have a parade. But for my family, the passion was the Doughboy Monument. My parents, Tony and Marianne Chaffee, taught me and my brothers from a very young age that community is everything, that you take pride in your city. Your neighborhood, you give back to your neighborhood. They spent decades organizing volunteer events, fundraising, restoring, landscaping, weeding, mulching this monument. My father placed flags and maintained this area well into his late 70s. He could be seen down here weed whacking on Sunday mornings after church. And as a good daughter, I would carry on that tradition to prepare this monument for Memorial Day. And that's what I did. I came by and I started working on the memorial, and then I was wondering, it's the 100th anniversary. It's the 100th anniversary of this statue, and I know my parents, if they were alive today, they would want to celebrate in some way to mark the centennial occasion. So I went into action. I reached out to Mayor Peduto, Lawrenceville United, Lawrenceville Corporation, the Lawrenceville Historical Society, the Lawrenceville Parade Committee, Frank Mackey, everybody to pull this together, Department of Public Works. It's just a testament to the love that people have for Lawrenceville and country. And it's just amazing. I'm just blown away by how fast everything came together. And for those of you who think you can cancel or ruin this special spirit that we have with paint or hate, I'm here to remind you, you're powerless. Because we cherish our past, we recognize the honor and contributions from the people of this community, and we will never forget where we came from, and we are eternally thankful for their service. So thank you so much for coming out today. And at this time, I'd like to introduce American Legion Post 351, 32nd District Chaplain Tim Burns.
Like Lisa, I'm a 10th warder. But I am. And I really appreciate everything that she's done for this monument. If you would take your covers off. Almighty God and Father of all, as we look upon this monument, which for 100 years is the symbol of the fights for freedom our forefathers fought for us. We could be free, but we could not see the things that they saw in them days. I believe that all the relatives' names that are up on this statue that came from this area, believe it or not, They fought for our freedom, which we have today. The brave men and women, they fought in the many conflicts that have been from World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan. It goes on and on. The only thing that we have to say is these people from these communities like Lawrenceville, 9th Ward, 10th Ward, Morningside, Pittsburgh, shares the responsibility that we have. And they take care of their own. We know this. Just look what Lisa done here today. We all fought for the same cause, a free America, land of the free, home of the brave. Those names up on the monument, they were the brave ones that fought for us. And that's why we're standing here today, to pay respects for them, not for the people that are walking the streets that don't want to go into the service or anything like that. But the fact is, these people here are our legacy and are the ones that we look up to. I like to say one thing. Amongst all the veterans that are here today, they say it each and every day when you walk by them. Thank you for your service. And the best part about it is, thank everybody that thanks you, because they respect the people that you were and are. Amen.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andy Masick. I'm the president of the Heinz History Center right here in Pittsburgh, but I'm also on the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission. That's the state's official history agency. So I bring greetings from Governor Tom Wolf. He couldn't be with us today, but he's here in spirit. And the spirit that is here in Lawrenceville today is the spirit that built Pittsburgh. It's a can-do spirit. It's a spirit that's not deterred by adversity. So I want to congratulate you and all the people of Lawrenceville and Pittsburgh for turning out today and remembering those who are represented by the Doughboy here, who gave their last full measure of devotion. So it's my pleasure now to introduce Pittsburgh's mayor, Bill Peduto, a guy who loves Pittsburgh history.
I think it's called the squid now. It's when you go and reach out to shake someone's hand and they're trying to give you a fist bump. There's so many thoughts that I'm having this morning as I'm here. And as we celebrate a monument, it's really not the monument itself. It's not the brick, it's not the bronze, it's the community. It's a community that has weathered very hard times, but has found a way to come back. It's a community that has found a way in order to be able to allow all of Pittsburgh to not only remember during Memorial Day and Veterans Day, but every day, the people who served. When we think about Memorial Day, we think of Lawrenceville. We think of not only the parade, but this amazing monument. And there's a reason that it was decided that it would be here, because a community came together and said, this is our priority. This is what we want to be able to recognize. And as Decoration Day became Memorial Day, Pittsburgh needed a community that would basically hold that value together. And holding it together through family, through faith, and through those that served, Lawrenceville became the home of Memorial Day for all of Pittsburgh in this region. To those families that are multi-generational, that have called Lawrenceville home, to those families that saw Butler Street empty out in the 80s and the 90s and Dresden Way become an area where people would stay away, thank you for never stop believing in Lawrenceville. To be certain It is only through your commitment during those difficult days that Lawrenceville is able to enjoy these golden days once again. And now new families are calling Lawrenceville home, and children are growing up once again in the streets. Lawrenceville is a success story, and it's a success story because of its people. So as we celebrate the names that are on this memorial, and we celebrate 100 years of this memorial being more than just a statue, but a very real fabric of the Lawrenceville community. It's not only those names of those that did not come home. It's the names of those that didn't come home the same. It's the names of the families that suffered because of the loss that those soldiers and sailors and airmen gave. And it is into the very fabric of what makes Lawrenceville, Lawrenceville. It's my honor, and I won't bore you with all the whereases, but just to let you know, whereas the Doughboy has served as a monument to those who have served, a beloved community treasure, and an iconic neighborhood symbol throughout its 100 years. Today, it continues to be maintained in partnership with the community and the city of Pittsburgh as the gateway to Lawrenceville. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, William Peduto, Mayor of the City of Pittsburgh, do recognize the men and women of the Lawrenceville community who have served our nation and are immortalized on this iconic figure, giving particular recognition to those who gave the ultimate sacrifice as we recognize Memorial Day. Furthermore, recognizing the Centennial of the Doughboy statue by declaring today, May 30th, 2021, as Doughboy Statue Centennial Celebration Day here in our most livable city of Pittsburgh. Thank you. Lisa, if you can come up to accept this on behalf of the people of Lawrenceville.
Okay. Well, it's nice to know the big guy can still draw a crowd here. My name's Tom Powers, and I'm current president of the Lawrenceville Historical Society. And this is my colleague, Jim Wodarczyk, a former president of the LHS and current board member. About 4 years ago, we were trying to determine when the base, or what we in the art business call the plinth, of the Doughboy statue was constructed. Our research led to an article that was published in the spring issue of the Western Pennsylvania History magazine. Now, for today's occasion, we have published in the June issue of the LHS newsletter, which I think, I don't know if they have spread all of these out, but in this newsletter here, a condensed version of all our research and the article on the history of the Doughboy statue. Plus, there's also information on the bank building behind us. I mean, you can't miss it. We have a limited amount of issues, and as I was trying to say, we've handed them all out already, so if you need them, you're going to have to join the Lawrenceville Historical Society. Sorry. But for those of you who aren't familiar with us and got your first issue, if you like what you see, forms are available to join the LHS and receive our quarterly newsletter. Also in this newsletter is a center spread of photographs, which for those of you who haven't gotten it, right here. And these are photographs of some of the people whose names are engraved on the plinth. And I feel that if this statue is to ever be vandalized, as it was last year, it would be best for all of us to realize that these are not just names etched in bronze, but real people who deserve to be memorialized for their service. And finally, although I have a feeling most of you know this fact, but I just want to point it out because frequently it gets misconstrued, the names on the plinth come from the 6th Ward. And for those of you that aren't quite familiar with the area, the 6th Ward starts at 39th Street and goes all the way to 27th Street in the Strip District. And then it goes up the hill to Polish Hill, just beyond Bigelow Boulevard. And that's the 6th Ward. That's who's on this statue. There are other memorials to the other wards of the city, but this is who we're honoring here in Lawrenceville. But quite frankly, the Doughboy statue, in effect, honors everybody. And to go further on this subject, I'm going to introduce my colleague, Jim.
The Doughboy statue represents more than a monument to the veterans of the two great world wars. This great artistic piece was also a gift to the city of Pittsburgh by the people of Lawrenceville. When the Lawrenceville Board of Trade held a carnival in Arsenal Park in 1918, it was not to raise money for this statue. The intent of that festival was to raise money for our troops in Europe. However, the armistice soon changed all that. Since the war ended before the funds could be distributed, it was suggested that Lawrenceville emulate other communities and erect a monument or memorial to our troops. In order to meet the goal of raising more than $10,000, additional fundraising took place in 1919. Early in 1920, the renowned sculptor Alan George Newman of New York City was commissioned to execute a realistic portrayal of a World War I soldier. Dedication of the new statue took place on May 30th, 1921, exactly 100 years ago. 20,000 people were on hand for that patriotic event. There were patriotic speeches, a 21-gun salute, a wreath-laying ceremony, and bands. Time was not always kind to the Doughboy. Between 1940 and 1946, we find there were a number of newspaper columns that lamented the deterioration of the stone base. Garbage littered the site, and the statue was grimy from the city's soot. Following World War II, a number of civic-minded men were responsible for giving the Doughboy even greater military significance. On the base of the statue, they added the names of more than 2,700 men and women from Polish Hill and Lower Lawrenceville who served during World War II. Persons responsible for this major addition were Joe Dobbs, John Kiddo Ferrucci, Paul M. Kelly, Terrence P. McManus, and John D. Ferguson. Project architect was Carl B. Weber, and Anthony Pestrowski was responsible for the construction of the base. Construction or cost of the bronze tablets was $11,000, and the dedication took place on May 4th, 1947, before a crowd of 4,000 spectators. By the 1980s, the Doughboy had taken on a sickly greenish hue as a result of pollution and age. Again, local residents rallied and the statue was refurbished. A dedication ceremony was held on June 18, 1983. Today, Sunday, May 30th, 2021, we come together as a community to honor a great memorial to those who served in defense of our country. Truly, it is an appropriate entrance to our neighborhood. For your kindness in allowing us to address a few milestones in the life of the Doughboy, Tom and I can only say thank you and may God bless all of you.
Thank you. Now we're going to hear from Lauren Byrne Conley, the Executive Director of Lawrenceville Corporation.
Thanks, Lisa, and thank you to Jim and Tom for sharing that incredible history with us and for all of the work that you do and the Historical Society does in ensuring that this community's rich and significant history is ever present and continues to shape our future. Thank you to the veterans and service members who are here today as part of this service and to all who have served and continue serving. And thank you, Lisa, for bringing this together today and for all of the work that you and the entire Chaffee family does in our neighborhood and specifically here at the Doughboy. It is truly an honor to be here today, and I'm so happy to see many of you for the first time in person in more than a year. I'm here as the Executive Director of Lawrenceville Corporation and on behalf of our board, staff, and membership to share a little bit about what the Doughboy has meant to the community and what you can expect to see this summer. LC is a community development corporation that was formed in 2000 as a merger of the Lawrenceville Development Corporation and the Lawrenceville Business Association. Both organizations had been in existence since the mid-1980s, and LC's mission today to serve as a catalyst and conduit for responsible growth and reinvestment in the community traces back to those original two entities. Part of our programming includes our work in marketing and promoting the neighborhood, as well as facilitating housing and commercial development. And the Doughboy has been central to those efforts. As an organization, we embraced the Doughboy early on and all that it stands for. To not just respect and celebrate where we have been as a place and as a people, but also where we're going. The Doughboy became the symbol, the brand, the identity of the community. The Doughboy image and all that it stands for has led the evolution and revitalization of our neighborhood. As I'm sure many of you will remember or still have or are wearing today, the stickers, the folders, the Doughboy trash cans, the pull banners, t-shirts, most recently, the Keep Lawrenceville Clean and Mask Up Lawrenceville campaigns, yard signs, and posters, encouraging everyone to care for their community and to care for their neighbor. The Doughboy has been an effective symbol for the community in this work because when people see it, it invokes values of service, respect, responsibility, of innovation, history, and a commitment to standing alongside your neighbor, weathering storms and successes, and not giving up even in the most challenging of times. And it is all of this that makes our community the special place that it is and it continues to be. The Doughboy and its history empowered and inspired and continues to inspire the Lawrenceville community to take deliberate steps to ensure that our neighborhood rebounds, but on our own terms. These steps and efforts have attracted significant housing, commercial, and industrial development over time. Decades ago, the community set out to make sure that the square, that this gateway, would become an accurate reflection of those values and of all of the great things underway and the great people in this community. This approach to community work continues today and has positioned the square and the community, much like the Doughboy, as a beacon for vibrancy, authenticity, and responsible stewardship. And so today, I get to announce some of the exciting plans and the things that you'll be happening here at the statue and in the square over the next few months. First, this summer, we will welcome 35 new residences, all affordable housing units, to the square as part of the development right here through a partnership between Action Housing, LC, LU, the city, many of the elected officials that are here today, and more. This is one of the final pieces in a decades-long redevelopment strategy that was triggered by all of those volunteers who worked to restore the statue, to reimagine and redevelop the square, to create a space that we can be proud of, and a space that is worthy of the Doughboy and all that it represents. And thank you to a partnership with Repco 2, which has been facilitated by Chip Desmond from Desmond, who's here today, headquartered here in Doughboy Square. We will be adding new lighting to the square. Over the next few weeks, Repco 2 will work with the city of Pittsburgh to install new lighting around the railing, within the flower beds, and at the flagpole, so that the Doughboy will always be a bright and shining light for all to see. Repco 2 has actually donated all of the fixtures, and the city will be providing the installation and the electric. We are grateful to the city, to Repco, to Chip Desmond, who has been a leader here in Doughboy Square, bringing to life what the community has envisioned with the restoration of the historic bank building, now their offices, and his adjacent developments and investment. Desmond's partnership with the community, like that of many of all of you, has been and will continue to be invaluable. We will be sharing additional information and updates over the next few weeks as all of these projects progress. So with that, I would like to again thank you for being here today and for all of your work and partnership in keeping Lawrenceville, but specifically the Doughboy Square, a vibrant space for all who visit, respect, and celebrate. I hope you all have a safe and healthy Memorial Day weekend. Thank you again to our veterans today, to those everywhere, and a special thank you to all of those whose names appear on the Doughboy and their families for all that they sacrificed and gave that has enabled us to be here today. So I'm happy to turn it over now to my friend and colleague Dave Brengen with Lawrenceville United.
Thanks, Lauren. I want to thank Lisa Chaffee and the Lawrenceville Historic Society for putting together this event today. I'll keep my comments pretty brief. My name's Dave Brengen. I'm the Executive Director of Lawrenceville United. Our mission is to improve and protect quality of life for all Lawrenceville residents. I'd like to take this moment to honor all the residents of Lawrenceville and Polish Hill who are listed on the statue and all the families of people who gave their life in service. Lawrenceville United and Lawrenceville Corporation, as Lauren just shared, have used the image of the Doughboy on a lot of different things, and I think it's not just because it's an iconic gateway to Lawrenceville, but because it captures a really strong tradition in our community of everyday people organizing to improve things. That was true 100 years ago, and it's true again today through a long history of residents that helped to maintain this area. People like Mike Lynn and Jen Kiley, Reg and Helen Ricketts who are here, but most especially Anthony and Marianne Chaffee, who cared for the space for many, many years. I know the thoughts of the Chaffee family are with them today, and especially Anthony, who passed away earlier this year. So I want to honor his memory and express my gratitude to the Chaffees for all they've done to maintain the space. And if you feel called by that ethos and that tradition to pitch in yourself, we are raising funds, of course, again, and recruiting volunteers to keep the Doughboy statue looking great for another 100 years. You can find the fundraiser and a sign-up form to volunteer on our website at lawrencevilleunited.org/Doughboy. And I think we also have a proclamation to honor the Chaffees as well.
Thanks, David. As I said earlier, a community is made up by leaders. It's made up by those that give of themselves, and the Chaffee family has been that for generations. And today we want to recognize both Tony and Marianne. And again, I'll be short with it. Whereas, though Tony and Marianne are not with us today, the legacy of their commitment and pride in their community in Doughboy Square lives on in their children, with son Michael helping to change the flags at the monument, son Tony working with Lawrenceville United to keep the area maintained, and daughter Lisa organizing regular volunteer cleanups, planting and mulching the Doughboy Centennial celebration, and the ongoing work of their grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, William Peduto, Mayor of the City of Pittsburgh, do recognize and thank the Chaffee family for their decades of dedication and service to the Lawrenceville community and the people of Pittsburgh, furthermore declaring tomorrow, June 1st, 2021, as Marianne and Anthony Chaffee and Family Day here in our city of Pittsburgh. Judge, where are you? Come on up. Thank you for your lifetime of dedication to this community. Thank you for living in the footsteps of your mom and dad. Thank you for teaching your children and grandchildren the value of community. Thank you. It's an honor to have served with you.
And now I'm going to introduce John Trenz, who's going to place the wreath.
Reset. Hard. Detail. Order. Hard. Detail. Hard. Hard. Half right. Hoot. Hey. Fire. Hey. Fire. Hey. Fire. Detail. Feet left. Hard. 3, hit!
Well, that concludes our ceremony today. I do want to welcome State Rep Ed Gainey, Senator Fontana, and the Boy Scout Troop number 73, Lawrenceville. Honorable mention. Thank you. I can guarantee you next year our parade is going to be bigger, more special, and we're going to celebrate 101 years of this monument. So thank you all so much for coming out. Thank you, Mayor Peduto, and thank you, everybody. Enjoy your Memorial Day holiday. Thank you.